run. I just dug out my daughter gave me some stuff. And usually when they give me stuff to give away to good to like, for secondhand stores, I usually go through to see what it is I could keep. This is what I'm so I'm wearing something that my daughter gave me. Well, she didn't give it to me. She gave it to me to give away, and I'm keeping it. So it's got sleeves. I'm gonna see how it feels to run in this. I don't know. It's not feeling that comfortable right now. I'm not used to wearing sleeves like this, but we'll see. Anyway, I want to talk about something. I've talked about this before, where the in the spiritual realm, there's spirits that are usually unleashed for a certain time. So right now, based on what we see on television and social media, there's a spirit of pride, greed, and covetousness that's been unleashed on the earth. So people want what they can't afford to have. People want what belongs to somebody else. People what want what someone else has in relations to, let's just say, um, they see you with a person or they see you with a business. They not only do they want it, they orchestrate plans to get what they want. Now, this is the thing. I had mentioned that there's a store that opened here. I'd say it took about 2 to 3 years to come into play. They're owned by it looks like an Asian family or an Asian group of people. They have money. They are wealthy. And I remember I have a sincere respect for the intelligence and the discipline of people from China and from Korea. They're very disciplined. And I'm not saying they're not other cultures that are disciplined, but there's something about the way that even the way they raise their children and the way they raise them to be respectful and to do certain things. Now, this is the deal. I had said this and I should have said it on video, like on a live, because I knew it was going to happen. This community that I'm in right now, they're not poor in the sense of like they don't have nothing. Like this is not like a government funded community, but they are hardworking. So what they have, they've had to work hard for. Okay. And a lot of times, oh, thank you. And a lot of times, um, parents that live in this community will go out of their way to buy their kids stuff that will feed their need to look a certain way. So, Jordan, Jordans for guys, and the best gear for the girls, hair done, braids done. So you can see that money's coming into the community, but the question is, where's the money going, right? So okay. So when this store opened, like I said, it took about 3 years for the store to be built. We watched the sign go up. For a minute, there was a Walmart there, but the community didn't take care of the Walmart. They stole from there. It was run down, and Walmart ran from here. It was here for about, I don't know, maybe 3 years. It came and left. Anyway, so the store sat uh, closed and windows covered for a while. And then the signage went up for a store. I'm not even going to say the name because maybe people know me. They know the store, what it is, because it's been doing a lot of business. It's done. It's, thank you. Um, so when the store finally opened, which was 3 days ago, this is the fourth day it's been open. Uh, I walked in there and I was so impressed. The cleanliness, the amount of things in there, the variety of things. But not only that, the variety of people that work in there. They didn't pick one particular culture. They have Asian, they have Black, they have Indian, they have. I so respect that. They were all, I guess, taught to be or directed to be polite, but also be professional. They are quick. I mean, the line was down the way. Like the line to exit the store to cash out was through the store, but the cashiers were like, I guess they were told to be quick. They were efficient. I mean, the way they work, this is, to me, just exemplifies the way people from China and Korea really deal with their population. Now, this is the thing. I said to myself, the way they handled Walmart and the way they handled the community, there's a Popeyes restaurant that's beside that area, and it's fairly new. But the youth in the community go in there with their own food. They tear up the store looks so run down, and the staff were so at some point was intimidated. And I used to go in there and say, "What's happening? Why don't you like go to the store? Good morning, good morning. Why don't you go to the school and tell them what's happening?" And they said we did. And the police say we can't do anything, and the school says they can't do anything. What do you mean? When I was a kid, we can just go in the community and just like raise havoc and leave. We would get suspended. The school would get actively involved because the school it's kind of like they're teaching us how to be adults. So when you go into the community, you ransack things, you destroy things, you hurt people, you steal. It's a reflection of the school's ability to teach. Anyway, so this is the nature of the community that they're in. The kids are basically, the parents are out working, so the kids, I this is my perspective on it, have the ability to kind of be, they kind of been given the ability to be independent, but not all, but there's a few that abuse that ability to be independent by being a menace. Okay, so this is the deal. When I went to that store, I realized, I said, you know what? These are Asian people. They didn't just come in here and put it, they didn't take 3 years to put this store together for nothing. And I should have did a video, but I thought, no, let's see how this is going to pan out. Okay, let's see. And exactly what I thought was going to happen, happened. People in Asia, in China, this is a communist country. People can't breathe wrong without getting, in trouble. So, bless you. So I said this and I said this, and I don't know why the Lord led me to say this, because they've come in there and they thought of everything. You think that they'd have security everywhere, because other stores do that, play a person to try and handle people, but they didn't. They have security cameras. I don't know how they're monitoring it. I don't know if it's attached to the police station or what it is, but yesterday was the third day they were open. And I saw, like, I don't know, maybe 7 instances where people were handcuffed. And the police got involved. A lot of times it's difficult to prove when someone has stolen something from a store, but for whatever reason and however they set stuff up, people are getting manhandled. People are getting dealt with, and it's not a joke. So to me, what it is it highlights a few things. One, this was a very well thought out business. They didn't just throw a store together and put stuff in it. They knew what they were doing. And the red flag for me, for people who are thieves, is that you don't see a lot of security. There's one security guard at the door, and the rest seem to be staff. But if you look around you, you'll see cameras. Two, the people who own the store, this is true wealth. They're not walking around with bling. They don't have jewelry on. They don't have gold teeth, whatever. You can tell what they're wearing has quality, but you can but real people with real money don't show it off. It just someone with real money don't want to draw attention to themselves. This is how you know. Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is Canada, and it's not usually this way. But like I was saying this before, that we assume that what's happening in China is different than everywhere else. That the technology they have in China they don't have here. They sure as heck have it here. They have a technology here as they do anywhere else, but they use it differently depending on what the population has been taught to believe. Okay, the times when people get away with crimes and stuff like that, the people are allowing them to get away with it. You can tell that right now, because I remember the other store, when they were going to the police and saying the kids are making a mess, they're ransacking the place, the police would say, we can't do anything, our hands are tied. This store that's I don't know how they set it up, but I would not even blink wrong in there. This is just a warning for people who live in this community. You're whoever's in your life who is supplying your shoes, your clothes, getting your hair done, even if you have your own job, be grateful for what you have. Why are you going into a store and stealing? It cannot be worth your freedom or your reputation or the reputation of the community. They chose here to put up a beautiful establishment, well thought out, There's not much here that I'm being too. There's not much here that you like. There's not much in our community that we lack. There's stores here. There's community centers. Since certain cultures have come here, they've really changed things. They've done a lot of things to make things beautify things. This is the thing. God sees everything. He knows why he allows what he allows. If you can't appreciate the little that you have, how would he possibly bless you? How can people be blessed if they're always watching what someone else has? That is insane. The Bible talks about if you can handle a little, then you can handle much. I can't remember how the scripture goes. My God, I need to memorize these things because very soon Bibles are going to be scarce. Believe me when I tell you that. But God is allowing this. No matter what culture you're from, what religion you're from, the Lord is allowing this. The Lord is still very much in control. Doesn't matter what, even if you're in a church and there's witchcraft in there, there's warlocks and witches, what are or evil witchcraft magic going on. The Lord said in his word, he would let the wheat and the tares grow together till the day of harvest. Okay, so I'm not too concerned about people who remain in church or who are not in church, who are from a false religion. If your heart is right, when the Lord is ready to call the people he knows will hear his voice, they will come. So Africa, bless you. Welcome, family. You know what's funny? There's people on here, but according to the stats on here, it shows that there's no one. But I'm thankfully that you guys are saying something. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel, love. I just really want to say that before I go on my run because I just can't. The store is absolutely well kept. It's clean. Like I said, I've taken some pictures. I'll post some of them so you can see. I've never seen such a thing. They have everything you can imagine. Every fruit you can imagine. They represent almost every culture you can imagine. They have yam, they have dragon fruit, they have lychee, they have mango plantain, or plantain or whatever you want to call it. They have everything, everything. And people go in there and instead of thinking this is for our community, they're thinking, how can I, take what I want for free? And you're walking in there with $300 shoes. Greed, sheer greed and covetousness, absolute greed. I don't know. And I think it's a theme right now that people out there they're so they're set on getting what they don't deserve, getting what does not belong to them, getting what they feel they should have. Everyone in their mind, for whatever reason, and however we've been programmed I'm not saying me, but generally speaking, somehow they've led us down a path to believe that we should find, if we can find a way to get what we want, no matter how it's done, as long as mom and dad can't see, father in heaven can't see, then we can just get away with it. It doesn't work like that. God sees everything. He sees if you're practicing magic. He sees if you're a liar. You know what? You say it sounds like Palestine, and someone else says it sounds like a police state, which is China. I think it's a global thing. I think we're seeing this everywhere. And but the news is not. If the news was to cover where this is going on, you'd see this is a global thing. This is not just in where you are. It's happening everywhere. Because you're in your situation, you see that you don't see what's happening here. And somewhere else it's happening, you don't see it's happening there. And so for whatever reason, and I think this is because the US is Mystery Babylon, the globe seems to be seeing what's happening in the US in relations to ICE and Trump. That seems that the highlight seems to be on Trump and the US. But there's stuff, people are suffering and going through things globally. Globally. The price of gasoline should really tell you. I mean, I don't know how it works exactly. They're saying there's a way on how it happens, but I believe it's deeper than that. I believe it's deeper than that. I believe that what the Lord showed me is that those G8 summits that they were having with all these leaders, And all of a sudden they're all bucking heads. This is not that those J7s that were private, that we were never privy to what they were discussing. What do you think they were discussing? You know, let's just throw this out there just before I go. Let's just say, let's just say the leaders of all these countries, Jamaica, the US, Russia, China, whatever else, let's just say behind closed doors, they all get together, they drink, they laugh, and they think how they plan how they're going to work it. And remember, this is just a thing I'm throwing out there. This is not true. This, this is what I'm thinking. We're gonna have a meeting, no one can come. We're gonna call it the Jade Summit. We're gonna discuss how we're going to implement this new world order. How we're gonna do that. And with the minds that we see out there that are leading these countries, they know their people, and they thought long and hard about this. They know what's important to their people. They know what people love, what people hate, what would coerce people to do a thing. Now this is the deal. I just got a message from the Lord yesterday through a video. It just reinforced for me, because I've been talking about the 3 days of darkness and the mark of the beast a long time now. And I was always wondering how it was going to look. And I remember this gentleman, there was a video about this gentleman who created the chip that we used to tap everywhere. He created that chip, and then he backed out of the situation because he knew what the chip would do if it was embedded in the body. And the way to recharge the chip was through somehow through the heat of the physical body. Now this is the deal. And it made me cry at first. And God's so good. Oh my God. Because I thought to myself, when COVID hit, my whole family took the vaccine. Everybody. I cried for days. I think 3 days of crying, because I thought in my mind like that my girls were going to get sick. My family was going to get sick, and people were going to pass away. Thankfully, God is so merciful and gracious. It didn't touch my family, and like that I know of. But people did start to drop and fall, and there was clots found, and there was all they kind of opened up a Pandora box of discoveries about what the medical field is really doing. How could they have come up with a vaccine so fast, the three companies, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, this video was about, I have to always say this, and I don't know if I always do. Try and put the link of this video in the description. The Lord showed this gentleman that they were going to have another health issue. And they're going to introduce a chip that's supposed to monitor people's health, that's supposed to predetermine whether someone's susceptible to any kind of illness. And people are going to be coerced to do this by them saying that, like people bullies say, if you loved your family, you would take it. You're jeopardizing everybody's health and safety. Remember, we already went through this. Okay, I remember being told by people that, how come you didn't take it? Everybody ran and took it, even though there's healthcare professionals that said, heck no, I'm not taking it because there's not enough research on the thing. Anyway, because of the first initial pandemic was a dry run. It was to see how people would be complacent and compliant. So they're going to do it again, but they're going to say this time that they have a chip that will monitor people's health, that make sure people are okay. Remember what a chip is, right? It's a computer thing, right? So it's almost like the internet. They introduced the internet as something being safe, right? That like your kids can learn information, highway, you learn everything this way. But they didn't show the dark side, the children's ability to access pornography, or to access or predators to be able to access your children, or whatever else. There's so many different things that went wrong. Gambling, easy access to gambling, easy access to cheating, easy access to everything. Nothing is private. I mean, we know how much we can access with other people. Imagine what the government can do. Anyway, so this is the thing. It was going to be offered as something and end up being more than what people anticipated. Some people are going to already, like, I've been prepared for this. I already know I'm not taking nothing like that. And there's a group of us who already been prepared, have gone through the fire, who are not going to take this thing. There's going to be people who are going to say, well, you don't love us. Obviously, you're danger. And there's going to be a divide. There's going to be a divide. But the people who have been prepared for this time are going to know what to do. Because what the Lord showed me is, and the Lord is so amazing, He's so amazing, is that He's going to give people an opportunity to repent and to deactivate or remove the chip. It's not going to be permanent at first. After that announcement, after the Lord lets people know, people are going to have, I think about, I don't know, 40 days, they said, it was, the video was saying, to get the chip removed. What I will tell you is this. When I was in my wilderness time, I learned a lot of skills. I was already skillful. My life was a whole bunch of opportunities to fail and to learn. So I know a lot of things. And I'm not braggadocious about it. It really was heart-wrenching to go through what I went through, but I did learn a lot. But what I did learn, I was always saying, I told someone this, someone who's very close to me, and I said, I learned all this stuff. Well, I don't even know why I have all these things. I don't know what to do with it. And this person even say, you're not old, you should, find something to do. I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but I understand everyone's perspective. But it's not people. My life is not wasn't put here to do what everyone else is doing. There's a few of us who've been chosen to do something very different. So I had to go through not besides the physical and the spiritual attacks, I had to go through a lot of mental gymnastics to navigate through people's opinions about me, about my choices. So there's going to be a time when people are going to, not doesn't matter what culture, what creed, what religion you're in, you're going to have a chance to choose to serve the true God, the true one. There's only one. We can invent all we want. And there's a group of people, there's a generation of people who have been, yes, it is, darling. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm going to leave it there. We'll talk about this more later on, but I have to just say that, first of all, the people in this community who know me, stop stealing from the store. They're using a few people as an example, almost like lynching. They've arrested people out in the open. Some very beautiful, very intelligent, young police officers I've never seen before in this community came out in these SUVs, I guess, assuming they're going to be capturing a whole bunch of people, because these are SUVs. I've never seen that many SUV police vehicles. Stop stealing, first of all. Be grateful for what you have. And two, let me just say, in regards to my forehead being shiny, I do have an influence. I know this. I know that the Lord led me to know that I have an influence, and people love me and people hate me. I love you all. I don't wear makeup, okay? So I'm not beating my face and putting on whatever else to come on here. Sometimes you'll see me looking tired. Sometimes you'll see me looking rested. Most of the time I'm tired all the time because I'm the warfare I'm under is extraordinary. But excuse my shiny forehead, excuse my shiny cheeks or whatever else. I don't wear makeup, so it's gonna look like what it is. People that you see polished and all together, either one using filters, or two they have a lot of, they're caked on with makeup. This is what you see, what you get. Okay, forget the aesthetics, forget it. Forget what you see here. It's gonna be greasy, it's gonna be whatever. I've accepted that, and I love it. It's fine. This is normal. Okay, this is normal. This is what you normally look like when you don't wear makeup, boo boo. That's what it is. Okay, so I'm gonna go for my run. I'm gonna talk more about this later because I'm enamored with that store. I have so much respect for people from China and Korea in relations to how they raise their kids, their respect for their elders, the notion that they let their kids do what they can when they're young. My kids were little, as soon as they could hold a fork and turn on the stove, they were cooking food. They were cooking food. My youngest, there's a story they told me. I can't even remember. I must have been busy doing something, but she said we had a package where you could make dumpling just by adding water. Because I didn't teach them to make dumpling until they were older. Because that's the thing, that it takes practice, and you can't just throw flour together. It took me a while to learn how to make it really good. So I bought a package where you can just add water, so they could actually do it on their own. So my youngest used to have friends in the neighborhood who used to come by, and she made dumpling with M&Ms. And or as a festival, either festival or dumpling. Festival is a sweeter version of dumpling. Dumplings are like fried or boiled, but this is fried version of like a bread, almost like a bread with a hard crust. It's really tasty if you don't know what that is. So she'd make this dumpling. The kids in the neighborhood would come by all the time. They're cuties, so people would come by, and I let them come and visit and sit, get to know their friends. And she'd offer them this dumpling with the M&Ms, and they're like, "Hey, what is that?" And she goes, "Just try it." And they loved it. So she'd have this thing where she's feeding the kids in the community with this. I didn't even know this was happening. They told me later on. So anyway, that to say, where was I going with that? Where was I going with that? Where was I going with that? Anyway, the point is that was a cute little story. The point is that I'm going to go out for my run, and oh yeah, no, that's not what it was. That wasn't what it was. I'm gonna go for my run. Uh, I'm my aesthetics. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I'm here to share a thing. My whatever the Lord leads me to share. And I wish I would have talked about the stealing before it happened, because I knew it was gonna happen. Because it's a community of people who are watching television. They're enamored with these celebrities, and they want to be rappers. They want to be baddies. They want to be. You could see that this is what they want. And unless their foundation is strong, this is what they're gonna do. Now, the people who own the store, you could see the influence. There's people that are from like that are Asian that are now utilizing the community center, who are kind of sitting around, kind of in couples, by the library, and I'm like, this is kind of cool. This is cool. I like it. Anyway, it doesn't matter what I like, but I'm just observing. So anyway, guys, stop stealing. If you're in this community and you know me, be thankful that they use this community to put the store. Okay? People from all over are going to come here now. It's going to bring money here because they're here all day. The store is here. They're going to pour into here. So be thankful. There's a spirit of pride and greed and covetousness, not just here in the globe. People want to be rich, they want to be celebrities, but they don't want to put in the work. They just want to get what they want when they want it. It's absolutely insane. Anyway, I'm out go. Enough talking and ranting. Okay, guys, until later, be blessed. Remember, you're made marvelously. The Lord loves you. You're a special generation of people. You're not a mistake. All right, guys, until later, be blessed.